You've likely experienced the exact moment when everything feels right at the beginning of an interaction. The conversations flow smoothly, the connection feels solid, and then suddenly the replies slow down and the energy drops. When you're left wondering what went wrong, it's rarely because of one massive mistake. Instead, interest usually fades because of small, predictable patterns of behavior that gradually change how you are perceived. To address this, we are going to build a practical set of communication adjustments. This process is designed to help you identify specific habits that might be cooling the interaction and replace them with a more balanced approach. Step 1 is preparation. Grab a notebook and a pen. I want you to mentally select one specific current social interaction where you've noticed the energy starting to slip. We are going to use that dynamic as your case study. Shifting from guessing why someone is pulling away to actively adjusting their own behavior is the most effective way to change the direction of a relationship. Take a moment and write down 2 specific communication behaviors you execute every single day with your chosen person. These are actions you do without fail, such as always being the first to text in the morning or responding the exact moment a notification appears. This represents how curiosity works. Encountering the unpredictable triggers active engagement. The brain processes new information, creating interest. But when behavior becomes routine, engagement fades. If you always say the expected thing, there's nothing new to process. This lack of new stimuli is why an interaction can start to feel stagnant. When your responses are entirely guaranteed, the other person no longer has to wonder about your perspective or wait for your input. While being reliable feels safe, total predictability removes the very curiosity that is required to keep someone's attention on you. Now, draw a line down the center of your page to create a 2-column chart for your habits. This scale illustrates a common reaction to fading interest. Trying harder by sending more messages creates an obvious imbalance. Forcing interest through sheer effort rarely works. Instead, it adds pressure, making the other person pull away to find balance. On the right side of your chart, write down a concrete replacement action. The next time you feel the urge to send an unnecessary follow-up text, you will instead put your phone away and spend 30 minutes on a personal hobby or a workout. Underneath that, write down one specific, unrelated task you commit to finishing the next time you feel the need to overinvest. By stepping back, you stop the cycle of chasing and allow the dynamic to reset. This shift in focus makes your attention feel like a choice rather than an obligation. Next, we need to define a rule to protect your personal schedule during the early stages of an interaction. If you receive a last-minute request to meet up, but you already have plans to go to the gym or see a friend, you must keep your original commitment. Sticking to your plans signals that your time is a finite resource. It demonstrates that you have a life and priorities that exist independently of this one person's availability. Take your pen and write this down. I will not drop prior commitments for last-minute attention. When you treat your own time as valuable, it establishes a standard for how others should perceive your availability. It replaces the look of hyper-availability with a sense of genuine independence. Copy these 3 specific rules into your notes. They are designed to help you maintain a stable emotional state. This helps manage what we can call emotional weight. This is the pressure someone feels when they sense that your entire mood for the day depends on how or when they respond to you. When you are overly dependent on a response, it's like a heavy backpack is suddenly dropped onto their shoulders. That weight makes the interaction feel like a chore rather than a choice. Review the 3rd rule, being comfortable with silence. Instead of feeling the need to fill every lull with a new question, allow the conversation to breathe naturally. Establishing this independence removes the suffocating pressure from the dynamic. It creates the psychological space where curiosity can actually grow. For our final adjustment, I want you to prepare a response to a common routine question, like, "How was your day?" Answering standard questions with standard answers makes the experience feel flat. It doesn't give the other person anything specific to remember or engage with. Look at the difference between these 2 responses. The one on the right introduces a small amount of detail and a clear hook for the other person to follow up on. Finalize one dynamic response or conversation starter right now and write it in your notebook. You will use this the next time you talk. Small variations in how you speak prevent conversations from falling into a predictable rut, keeping the interaction fresh and engaging. Take a moment to review the communication changes you've outlined today. These are the new habits that will replace your old patterns. Changing your behavior is the only way to change how you are perceived. When you stop being hyper-available and predictable, the other person has to reevaluate their interest in you. Remember, there is a difference between playing games and being independent. Ignoring someone is an attempt to manipulate. Maintaining your own balance, regardless of their response, is a sign of personal maturity. Put these adjustments into practice today. Focus on your own tasks. Wait for a calm moment before you reply, and let the conversation develop at its own pace. When you stop chasing attention, you start creating the kind of balanced, interesting experiences that allow attraction to develop naturally.